Welcome into our spring sports show, and it's episode number 3, and we're at the Boulevard here at the corner of Middle Tennessee and East Main. Chip Walters with you from the Blue Raider Network. Glad to have you with us. 2 more episodes to go. We have worked our way through our spring sports, and today is going to be golf day here on the spring sports show, and we, of course, ladies first. They have the honors to go first today, and glad to have Lauren Wamsley, the women's golf coach, and Abbie Lee from the Lady Raider Golf Squad. So welcome in.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good deal. Okay, Lauren, Abbie has more experience here than Lauren does at MTSU, and as we expected, we have we're right here in the middle of everything, so you're going to hear and see a little bit of everything. But you're finishing up your first year here on campus. Give folks a little bit of your background, because it's been a year since they heard it when you came here from Grand Canyon. But the eastern part of the United States is home for you anyway, right?
Yes. So I'm from Kokomo, Indiana, so a little bit closer to home, closer to my family. They're about a 6-hour drive now, so that's really nice. But started off at South Florida. I was the assistant there, and then moved out to Phoenix for about 9 years. And I was at GCU for 9 years before coming here.
Grand Canyon's an interesting place. They are a private, for-profit university. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's kind of a weird mix, but yes, private Christian university out there.
Yeah. Well, and they have some semi-local ties. Bryce Drew, who was a former coach at Vanderbilt in this area, was out there, and you were out there, and our women's basketball team played them earlier this year. So it was kind of interesting how Grand Canyon popped up on the map here, but you were the first one who made it pop up on the map for us. And what was it about this opportunity that was appealing to you?
I just love it. Love the Southeast. It's such a great community for golf, and there's a lot of really good talent here. So when I heard about the job opportunity, I was very, very excited. They've had a lot of history here. They've won a lot of championships here. The facilities are awesome. And I just knew this was a great, great opportunity and a great place to be. Good
deal. We're glad to have you. So, Abbie Lee is with us, and Abbie, kind of give folks the elevator speech on hometown, high school, that kind of thing, and what brought you to Middle.
So I am from Glasgow, Kentucky. I graduated from Glasgow High School. What brought me to Middle, there were 2 very outstanding golfers that came to MTSU from my high school. Their names were Kent Bull and Taryn Durham. So I grew up under them, and have always been around the Blue Raider community, have heard great things about it and known about the great coaches and facilities. So it was a lifelong dream to hopefully maybe be able to follow in their footsteps too. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and it's been a great 4 years.
Well, Taryn is being a female golfer. Her story is really kind of neat, because she had a great college career, kind of stepped away, was a mom, and all of a sudden, her kids have gotten a little bit bigger, and now she's back playing again. And didn't she win like the Kentucky Amateur or something last year?
She won the Kentucky Women's Open. I had to face her to win the Kentucky Women's Amateur in the semifinal round, and we fought. And she's an incredible player. She still is to this day. She played a couple years of professional golf and then turned back to amateur status. So me and her have always had to duke it out for Kentucky Amateur Player of the Year ever since she got her amateur status back. But she's awesome, and she's been a great role model for me. She actually was my assistant coach in high school for a couple years, so that was really cool.
Well, now that you mentioned that, I do remember that you all were going against each other.
Yeah.
And but at the time, and still is, a really cool story for folks who are Middle fans and alums, that you guys were, after everyone had gone away, it was down to 2 Blue Raiders.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was a cool story for my hometown too, because I had to face Taryn in the semifinals, and then I had to face another one of my former teammates from Glasgow High School in the finals, and then fortunately I came out on top and got the Kentucky Women's State Amateur title, which was really cool to bring that back to Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Lauren, when you talked about the history that was here, And part of, I would guess, the appeal of coming, you didn't have to come in and reconstruct something from the ground up, because there was already a solid foundation that Chris had here, and with good people, good players, and as Abbie mentioned, the facilities that are at your disposal is really outstanding.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We had pretty much the same team as last year. We added in a couple freshmen, Caroline and Briley, which were awesome additions. But yeah, I mean, we went into the fall semester with pretty much the same team. We won a tournament, so we knew the talent was there. All the facilities and the practices and everything we had, it was already there. So for me, coming in as a new coach, it was exciting, and it was just really fun to watch and see what they could do.
Good deal. And in your second tournament as head coach, you guys win the Cardinal Cup. So just go ahead and put those expectations up there high, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Starting off big. So, but it was really cool. It was, kind of coming down to the very end, like most golf tournaments do. But it was really cool to see them handle the pressure and on a tough golf course to beat some big schools. So it was really neat.
Yeah.
As a coach.
Abbie, when there's a coaching change, I mean, it can be a shock to the system, no matter what sport it is. But in this case, it seemed like it was about as seamless as it could be. And you being a veteran on this team probably had a lot to do with that, to help the transition from Chris Adams to Lauren.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for Coach Adams and everything she did. She gave me the opportunity to play here, and she'll always be one of my favorite coaches I've ever had. Coach Wamsley came in and was incredibly positive, willing to work with us. We remained coachable for her, and I think we just grew together. So the way that Coach Wamsley's approached this team and is integrated with us has been incredible, and I'm very grateful for her and all that she's done to work with us too. It's been great. So.
Well, I don't know whether it's the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart here, that you guys, like you mentioned, were coachable. That's a big thing, that you guys didn't put up walls and when she got here, that you were coachable, but you all had early success. And that, I'm sure, when you have success, that breeds, hey, we're all in here and could move on from there.
Yeah. So Coach Wamsley just kept us incredibly competitive, which I think is why we got such success early on. She really helped push us and motivated us to play the best golf possible, especially right when she came in. She didn't know exactly how well we were going to play. She didn't know us. She didn't know our talent yet, but she knew that we were great players and helped bring that out, especially early on, which was incredibly impressive. So, yeah. Very grateful for that.
Did you just get out of the way sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
They had the talent. They had everything. So they're a really tight team. So it was just a lot of fun for Cons and I to just be there and help support and watch them win.
Well, it takes about 5 seconds listening to Abbie to know what you got there, and that, okay, I'm in good shape with my roster when you have people like her.
100%. I agree. We're lucky that Abbie's coming back for next year, so we're super pumped about that.
Yeah. Yep. Had 3 top 3 finishes this year. And in golf, when you're in a tournament week in, week out that has anywhere from 14 to 20 schools in it, 3 top 3s, that's pretty strong.
It is, yeah, it is. And it was a really hectic kind of ending to our spring semester too. We had a couple of back-to-backs, so just to see them, persevere like that and push through it, it was phenomenal. So we saw anywhere from teams in the top 10, on down. So they competed against the best in the highest level, and to come out with 3 top 3s, that's huge. So that was really, positive for us, and it was a good way to end the season, something to look forward to, going into the summer for their summer schedules.
How much was already done from a scheduling standpoint for the fall and fall of 24 and spring of 24, and how much were you able to put your fingerprints on that?
So it was pretty much all set in stone. We just kind of had to finalize a couple things in the spring, but everything was set in stone. We usually do our schedule about a year in advance, so already have the schedule set for next year. Looking pretty good, looking pretty solid.
We may break some news here in a minute. So.
Right. Got a couple fun ones. So, but other than that, everything was pretty much set in stone.
Yeah.
For us.
Now, for you, Abbie, you and your teammates. During the transition, during the time when you really didn't have a head coach, when after Chris had taken another position and before Lauren got here, that was at a time of the year when you guys are typically playing in the summertime and doing your junior golf or other professional, or not professional, but your amateur stuff, where you're playing on your own. So did you all have the tech circle going with all your teammates, and who took the lead on keeping up with everybody?
So we all did a great job of staying in touch with each other. I think coaching transitions are always extremely nerve-wracking just because you don't really know if the personalities are going to fit or what the coach's plans are. So during the transition, I really reached out to my teammates and was like, hey guys, it's going to be okay. The administration's supporting us. We have a great athletic department that's very athlete forward and athletes first. So they had promised that, we were going to have an opportunity to still play here regardless of who the coach that came in was. So that was very helpful in that process, but definitely just being motivating to each other, continue to play summer golf and be competitive, and then we'll come in and accept this coach and try to integrate. So
It looks like y'all are having a great time.
Yeah.
And you had a fantastic year. The conference season, of course, it ended here a couple of weeks ago, but you ended up the year with 4 consecutive top 10 finishes to close out the spring. Never placed lower than 10th individually during the entire spring. Obviously, playing some of the best golf of your career right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so unfortunately last year I faced an injury that prevented me from playing in the spring. So luckily when I got out and was healthy again, I had 2 big wins at the beginning of my summer. So that kind of, helped build momentum to have a good college year, which was awesome. And then faced a little bit of adversity at the end of the fall, but came back in the spring, stayed super competitive, and after the first top 10 in Puerto Rico, it was really cool. I had a great conversation with Coach about trying to win tournaments, and then that turned into 3 consecutive top 5s towards the end of the year, which was awesome. So I want to take that momentum into next year.
What was the trip to Puerto Rico like? Great way to start the year.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time as a team. It was nice to be in the sun. It was nice to be on real green grass. So it was nice to go there and get a new experience and have a great competition. So that was a great experience for our team.
Yeah. In Puerto Rico, it's like, you are in a foreign country, but no, you're not. It's kind of
right.
Yeah,
right.
It's kind of halfway. It's not a state, but it's a territory, but it's still somewhere that has its own culture for sure. And for you and your teammates, had everybody been abroad or somewhere like that, or was it a first-time experience for some?
For a lot of us, it was a first-time experience. Like me, I had never been outside of the States, so that was huge for me. We were very fortunate to have Cons, our assistant coach. She is from Spain, and she's fluent in Spanish, so she was definitely an asset while we were there. It was awesome to have her, so I was very grateful for her and all of the work, too, that she's put in this season. But yeah, we had never experienced anything like that before for the majority of us.
How were the facilities? How do they compare as far as the golf courses compared to what you play on here?
Yeah, it was.
You said you had great grass.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was very plush. You could tell it was definitely a more tropical climate. It was kind of comparative to the course that we played in Hawaii. Just it had a lot of flowers and very healthy vegetation. You could tell it got plenty of rain, plenty of sun, which was great. So it was nice to get off of the dormant grass that we've been used to playing on during the spring here in Tennessee. Yeah.
So, and around here, a lot of greens have been updated and all that after the freezes the last couple of years. A lot of work's been going on there. For you, had you ever taken a team outside the United States before?
Yeah, I have. We've been to Mexico a couple times, Puerto Vallarta down there. So it was just really nice. But that was the only time besides Puerto Rico. Went to the Bahamas last year. And then, yeah, that's about it outside of the States.
Understand. Okay. What are you able to tell us about scheduling for next year? I know they'll release everything at some point, but I'm sure we can drop a few clues here today.
Yes. So we're going to go back to Vanderbilt. That's always a great tournament for us.
And it's an easy trip.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
over Franklin, yeah.
Cannot beat that. We'll take the van on over there. So that'll be a great event. We're going to end the fall season in the Bahamas again. So we play at the Atlantis Club. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Stay right at the resort. They take care of us really, really nicely over there. So that's going to be a fun one. We'll see a lot of really solid teams throughout the fall. We're going to go up to Toledo, Ohio, and play up there and get to play on a course that hosted the Solheim Cup. So it's going to challenge us big time, but I think this team's ready. Looking forward to some recruits that we're bringing in over the summer. But just to have our solid group returning, I mean, that's something you can't replace that. So
right.
We're very excited to have Abbie and the rest return.
And I know you can't release recruits' names just yet. Talk a little bit about what you felt like your recruiting needs were going to be going into this recruiting cycle that is ending up now.
Yeah, honestly, we need some recruits that fit into the culture that we've built. Abbie's done a great job of kind of leading the way, and a couple of the other girls on the team, they've gotten this culture into something that we want. It's going to be a championship type culture. So, we need recruits that fit into that mindset. Recruits that really, really love MTSU. They want to be here. They want to get ingrained in Murfreesboro, which I think we have. So we have some players that I think are just going to come in, buy in 100%, and they have a lot of talent, a lot of experience. So, kind of the whole package.
When you talk about championship culture, and obviously that has to do with the individuals, has to do with the coaching they're getting, but also you're in a great spot with the facilities that you have. You've got a terrific practice facility over at the Grove. You've got access to so many other golf courses around here. How important is that to be able to build that culture that you're talking about?
Oh, it's huge. The facilities we have really help bring in those recruits and really just kind of solidify their decision. To take them out to the Grove and see that facility that was built out there, it's gorgeous. I mean, you're just blown away when you're driving out there. So those facilities, we've been out to Stones River a lot too. So once that course is back open, again, it's like a brand new golf course. Mm-hmm. So we're beyond blessed here, and it's to have Old Fort and Bloomfield and just all the support right here in Murfreesboro. It's awesome.
I know a lot of it all started out with the facility out at Champions Run as well. So you've got different kinds of golf courses. Do you? Let's say if you've got a tournament coming up you talked about Vanderbilt, at Legends. Mm-hmm. Is there one of the particular courses here that you're going to practice on and qualify on that might get them ready for that event better than another?
Yeah, definitely. So we look ahead at the tournaments we're going to, like Puerto Rico. They had a lot of different grass that we're not really used to seeing. So anytime we can get on courses that have that type of grass, whether it's zoysia, bent grass, whatever, we have the courses here. So we just kind of travel around and see what fits best. If it's tree lined, if it's wide open, we have all those facilities that can fit those needs. So that's definitely a big part of our practice.
Yep. Abbie, what's the coolest thing out at the facility at the Grove? for you as a player?
For me as a player, so we have two TrackMans there that have huge screens that we can hit into, and then also we have a great chipping and putting green on our end of the facility in our own range that we can hit on the back side of that range at the Grove. So it's definitely one of the places where you can work on everything, which is great. And that facility, I've been lucky that I've had it all 4 years here, and it's been a huge asset for growing my game and developing our team. So it's been great. Yeah.
So your senior year's coming up, right?
I am a senior.
You're a
currently.
senior, so you're ready to wrap it up. Okay, talk about the returnees that will be coming back. We're not talking about recruits, but the returning players.
Yep.
And if Abbie was having to scout these players, how would you scout them, and what would you tell me about them?
Tell you about them? Okay, so I'll start with Nicole. Nicole's my roommate. She's incredible. She's one of the nicest people
You
you'll
better be
ever
nice
meet.
to her, right?
Oh, 100%. She's awesome. She's one of my closest friends. But she's an incredible player, has a great golf swing, great putting stroke, just stays positive and really in the moment. That's one of the things she's really best at. She's amazing at just really focusing on the present moment, which is a huge asset for playing great golf. Next, I'll talk about Jillian. Jillian is a great worker. She's works with me too with our student athlete advisory committee. She's one of our representatives. She's one of the hardest workers I've ever met. She's like our team mom. She always makes sure that we have everything we need. She's a very caring person, so just a great person to have as a friend and a teammate. Ella is amazing. She's great friends with everybody on the team. She's got a huge, big personality. She's always good at bringing us together and getting us excited and pumped up, bringing great energy to the team always. She's a great player, and always is capable of shooting insanely low scores, which is really great. She's got a lot of talent.
That always helps.
Always helps.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have Caroline. She's one of our freshmen. She is also one of the sweetest people I've ever met. She's got insane talent, had an incredible junior career, and came out this spring and was a huge asset for our team. So she's got an amazing upside. I'm very excited to see how her college career develops. And then we also have Briley. She faced an injury this year, but she is also just an incredible teammate, always supportive, and she's amazing at just bringing great energy to practices, and I'm excited to see how her career develops as well as she heals from this injury. Yeah.
And what about yourself?
Yeah. What about you? How would you self-scout?
Oh, I'm not sure. I focus a lot on school, so that's something that's very important to me. But I would say that I try to be a great teammate. That's one of the things I focus on, is just being there for my teammates. But I would just say that I try to bring as much effort into everything that I do as I can. But other than that, that's all I got for me.
How'd she do?
She did amazing.
Yeah.
You improved, over 550 spots in the rankings,
Yeah.
2.7 strokes on average. It was just a massive improvement from last year. But I mean, speaking of one of the hardest workers, you're definitely up there. An insane worker. You are a perfect teammate. Everybody loves you. They respect you. So we're very happy to get Abbie back along with everybody else.
Some of the team numbers from this year, just some of the math, 57, 52, and 2 record this year, up 21 wins. An 861 tournament total at the Golf Week Spring Invite was the 6th lowest 54-hole total in program history. A 589 stroke total at the Tennessee Spring Invite, which is the lowest 36-hole total in program history. Previously was set at 591, but back 17 years ago or 18 years ago, and the 5th most team rounds at par with 3, up from 1 a year ago. The other part about Abbie that I want to talk a little bit about is you are president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. And I love the fact that when I mentioned that, a big grin came on your face because what it tells me is, and it doesn't take long to figure this out, is, I mean, while this is a huge part of your life, I mean, you're very focused on being the total student athlete and knowing that there are words on either side of the hyphen, student and athlete, and you take advantage of all of that of the opportunities that are right in front of you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to get to work with our athletic department. The school has given me a lot of opportunities to grow as a student and an athlete, so I love to give back to that in any way I can. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee is great at bringing our athletes together. We provide community service opportunities and also provide mental health awareness to our athletes and make sure that they know the resources, and we keep them up to date on legislation as well. It's been incredible to be a part of that committee, and then also to step into the president role has been great. I get to work really closely with our athletic directors and our staff at MTSU, which has been very enlightening on the process. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity as well. So yeah, that's been incredible this year. Yeah.
And now Thursday night will be the Raiders' Choice Awards, and Abbie will be on stage as a presenter. And women's golf has always come strong for all that. Have you all had your meetings about what everybody's wearing? All of that. Who's going to help who get ready? And be there for the blue carpet, not red carpet. No red, blue carpet.
Yeah, a lot of us have had our dresses picked out for over a month, so we definitely talk about what we're wearing, what the plan is. We're very excited for Thursday. It's great to get all the athletes together and recognize all of their accomplishments, celebrate our whole department. So we always love going there and also celebrating our successes, but also the other teams and athletic programs that our school has. So it's a great event, and we always enjoy it.
To me, it's eye-opening because it's one of the few times all year that all the teams are together, and everybody has their tunnel vision and trying to do, just take care of your own thing, that you can come out and celebrate with everybody and enjoy that. And so I'm glad that it's something you all look forward to. So,
definitely.
All right. Anything else? What else do we need to know today, Lauren?
Oh man, what else do we need to talk about? I'm just overall very proud of this team. Like you said, with a coaching change, it's always difficult. You never know, how I'll be accepted, how my assistant was going to be accepted, but this team really went above and beyond. They were so encouraging for us. They're very open and chatty, and they're just really great with us as coaches. So our relationships have grown over this year, and we're just really, really excited to come back. And
well, the one other thing that I forgot to mention, that you had to do all of this while becoming a mom.
Yeah, very true.
How did you handle all that?
I had an awesome
so far so
team.
good, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's 5 months old now, so it was kind of perfect timing.
In between fall and spring season, right?
Yes, literally perfect timing. But again, the team is just so understanding, and they love him. And my assistant Cons, shout out to Cons, she's unbelievable. She played for me when I was at GCU, and convinced her to come here. And she's been such a blessing. She's really worked hard with the team. With a couple of them a lot, after practice, before practice, all that kind of stuff. So she's helped me, but Beckett's been great. He's #1 Lady Golf Raider fan.
And he's got a lot of aunts now, too.
He's got a lot of aunts. And he loves them. So
that's good.
He's come to a couple practices, and he just doesn't stop smiling at him. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I can understand. Good deal. Well, thank you all so much for coming today, and good luck for your summer. What are you going to be doing? How many tournaments are you going to play this summer?
Right now, I have 3 that I'm for sure going to play in. I'm going to play in the Kentucky Women's Amateur, the Kentucky Women's Open, and then a USAM qualifier at Old Fort, and then I'm trying to play in either the North-South or the Western. So I'm very excited for that and preparing for that for next year. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Good deal.
We'll see you Thursday.
Okay, sounds
all right.
awesome.
Thanks
Sounds
a lot.
good. All right,
Lauren
thank you.
Wamsley, Abbie Lee, they are here with us. We're going to let them slide out. Mark McEntire will slide in with me, and while that happens, tell you about what's on the schedule for this week in Blue Raider Country. as we mentioned, Thursday night will be the Raiders' Choice Awards. That will be at Tucker Theater. There are a few tickets remaining for fans who'd like to come by, and but other than that, it will be recorded and will be up on the website goblueraiders.com and on the YouTube channel by Friday, I would imagine. And but it won't take very long. But there'll be plenty of stuff out on social media about that as we crown our student athletes with athletic and academic honors this week. Also, today, here, by the time you see this, it will probably have already happened, but men's tennis will have their selection show for the NCAA Regional, and it will be here at the Boulevard. 4 o'clock is the show, and or as the event gets underway, it will be on the NCAA website at ncaa.com beginning at 4:30. Later in the week, Friday, baseball home against Jacksonville State this weekend. They've got some work to do and need to do it against Jacksonville State. Softball, same thing. They're back at home this weekend against UTEP. Both will play Friday at 6 o'clock, and then games on Saturday and Sunday as well. Track will be at Vanderbilt this weekend as they have their final tune-up for the Conference USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships, which will be held here in Murfreesboro at the Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. That'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and tickets are $20 for a full weekend pass, $10 for a daily pass. And I'll say this, if you've not been to a college track meet, in particular on a Sunday when you have all the finals of these events rolling one after another, it is truly an exciting event. Time now to welcome in men's golf coach, Mark McEntire. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good deal. Good deal. It's never a non-busy time for you. Oh. So tell me what all's going on in your world these days.
Well, this thing called the transfer portal's got all of our attention.
I'm sure. Now, talk a little bit about how transfer portal, NIL situation, all of that. How does it? I mean, a lot of the headlines come talking about football and basketball and women's basketball, but it affects every sport. Has it changed the way that you go about your business in college golf?
Yes and no. The transfer portal, it's just a weird experience for everybody because since this, I get what's the thing that's going on right now?
The house settlement. Yeah.
Since it hasn't been settled, nobody knows what's going on with roster limits for our program.
And they're talking about maybe this week it could be finalized. I tell you, when I first heard house settlement, I'm thinking, okay, is that the House of Representatives? But apparently it was somebody named House, but that filed the lawsuit. But it is. I mean, I can understand, some of the frustration that goes along with that, because all you want to know is, okay, what is the roadmap moving forward? And whatever it is, you'll adapt and go on with it.
100%. We've got a young team right now, so they're all wondering and what's going to happen if we cut down the rosters, if they're going to have a spot or not. Also, there's going to be cuts from the Power Fives and bigger programs that they're going to be people in the portal that are really good players. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. I mean, the role that we've taken and what we've done to prepare for it is, as the portal has begun to open next week, a lot of the Power Fives have not taken their signees from high school. So we have capitalized on that. We've got a signee that originally was committed to Kentucky to come play for us. We got one that was originally committed to go to Oklahoma to come play for us. And then last night we got a kid that was originally signing with Ole Miss to come play for us. So we've decided to take those players and then with our system come in, develop them, and just continue to try and get better.
Derek Mason, back during the fall, he made the statement talking about his football program, and he said, where we stand as a Conference USA member and school, he goes, we have to face the fact that sometimes we're going to be a developmental program, and there will be people who come and poach and pick and things like that. And that's not a bad word.
No, I don't think so at all. You know, the best thing that can happen for our program is to come in and have one of these freshmen go be freshman of the year. That's good for us. That shows that you can come in here and we can develop you. And I do like what one of the things that Derek Mason said is, come here and we can get you paid more next year.
Yeah.
It's true. But the good thing is in our sport, you know, with the Power 5 cutting to, I think the SEC is going to go to 8. And
8 roster spots.
8 roster spots.
Out from what? Unlimited?
12, 14,
Yeah.
You know, big numbers.
Well, and that's where it may play well into your hand to fall within their footprint.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we're just going to continue to focus on. And the big thing is when golf, as you know, it's a mental sport. It's a mental game. It doesn't matter if you play for us, Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. It doesn't matter. It's a score that goes down on a scorecard, and we've got a tremendous schedule. We've had tremendous success here, and we've proven with Owen Stamper last week. He finished 12th, I believe, on the Korn Ferry Tour, and that you can have your dreams come true if you come be a Blue Raider.
Absolutely. Last week we had baseball and softball on. The week before we had both tennis teams on. In baseball and softball don't share facilities. Tennis teams do share facilities. Mm-hmm. Golf teams share facilities. And how much synergy is there when both programs are there helping each other?
Yeah, I mean,
with you and the women's team.
After listening to Abbie speak, I want her to come speak to my team.
And isn't she unbelievable?
If we had that attitude amongst the board, we'd be incredible. But no, Lauren and I have a great relationship. We get along great. There's really not a lot of overlay. While we're at the Grove, our schedules allow us to work it around where, you know, there's normally one team in each facility that we've got, and we're never really on anybody's toes or any kind of issues with overscheduling or overlapping, and it's been great.
Speaking of the Grove, and we talked to Lauren about it, that facility is, if you had to paint the picture to somebody, what would you tell them about that facility and why it's such a selling point for your program?
Yeah, I mean, the Grove is a fantastic golf course. It's hosted Korn Ferry events, live events, PGA Tour events, but it just gives you a lot of credibility from a coach's standpoint to have your facility at a golf course of that stature. The facility in the back with the hitting bays, we just got a putt view system this past weekend. We've got everything that you need to succeed and to get better. So if you're a recruit, you're coming in and you're asking about facilities, we have an indoor facility. We've got a top 100 golf course in the world and all the tools that you need and the practice tools that you need to get as good as you possibly can. So it's a great selling point. The Grove is tremendous and the access is great.
Okay, other courses in town that, and Lauren talked about them a little bit as well, between Old Fort, Stones River, Champions Run, Bloomfield, all of that. Old Fort just had their greens redone. Mm-hmm. They're putting in new irrigation at Stones River. They're finishing that project up. Kind of, for folks who might be tuning in, what is the status of the local courses right now?
Yeah, so Stones River should be open in November. I believe. Don't hold me to that.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but you know we really miss Stones River from the standpoint of having the availability, the proximity to campus, and it's
you can be there in 10 minutes.
You can be there in 10 minutes. A lot of our donors and supporters are there, so it's nice for them to see and get to know the players, develop relationships, and it's just a great place for us. The golf course was always fun. If we did have a knock on the Grove, it said it's too hard. So Stones River would be a place that we could go out and shoot some scores and get some confidence. Whereas the Grove, from time to time, especially in the early parts of the spring when it's cold and dormant and the wind's blowing, it's really hard to shoot around in the 60s there. So Stones was a great spot for us to do that, get some confidence. Our conference tournament, Texarkana Country Club, is very similar. Mm-hmm. So it was always nice to go out there and practice a couple weeks before to pitch on the same grass, focus on kind of the same things, and develop a good game plan to go have some success.
Yep. You mentioned that you talked about this year. It wound up at the Conference USA tournament in Texarkana a couple of weeks ago. I know your goal was to get into that match play round, mm-hmm. and boy, you were right there. And there, like everywhere from second through 6th or 7th. I mean, it was
tight.
it was very, very. I was watching on the live stats and watching everybody. It was like watching the stock market, for the last couple of weeks.
That's exactly
everybody
right.
was moving up, moving down, and it's like, okay, who's going to finish strong here? And just didn't go your way to get into the Thursday, but you guys had 3 really strong days.
We did. It was a good week. I'd be remiss to say that it was a hard week, losing Carter's dad and his grandparents the week before in a plane crash. We had a donor that flew us in for the funeral for him to bury his father on Thursday. For him to even tee it up at the conference championship made me proud.
Yeah.
He's handled everything great. They just had the funeral for his grandparents this past Saturday. So the fact that he was able to do what he did was remarkable. The town was behind us. The town supported us. There was more blue out there than I'd seen in a long time. And we've had a lot of success in Texarkana.
Yeah.
But going back to the conference tournament, we just didn't get it done. All year we've been solid, but we haven't been great. We had a really nice round in the first round from Luke. It gave us a round in the 60s, propelled us to the top. We were very consistent, but we didn't have that really alpha that gave us the opportunity to shoot a 67, 68 to balance out a 73 and keep you under par and keep you towards the top.
Your best finish of the year, the Loyola Intercollegiate out in Arizona, finished tied for second. Were 19 under for 54 holes, which that's good. I'll take that in putt.
Absolutely.
With a group.
100%.
So-
Well, I think maybe Lauren, when she went back
Yeah.
over the holidays, planted some MT balls in the rough, and we just were able to keep it in play a little bit better. But no, we really have a good team, and I'm excited the fact that the only guy that we lose is J.J. Zimmer. I'm excited for Marcus to come back. I'm excited to bring these new guys in that should and hope have a little chip on their shoulder from the standpoint of being passed over by a Power 5, told them they weren't good enough. But the biggest thing that I want to do next year is just resume the culture of being Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
I want us to be tough. I want us to be blue collar. I want us to be guys that are going to fight and put the MT on your chest and go have pride and promote it.
Yep. I mean, you follow in great footsteps along the way. I think back to Johnny
100%.
Moore.
Yeah.
He was he instilled that pride. The play for the name that's on the front of the jersey instead of what's on the back, and in your case, play for the logo that's on
right.
the chest of the polo. And you've had groups of guys who over the years have been able to do that
100%.
and bought into it.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I say, this is just a unique year where we've had some alphas that were really, really good and piggybacked us and carried us for a long time, and just hadn't had those guys step up to develop them yet.
You mentioned J.J. Zimmer. He's the only one graduating, but he and Luke Perkins comprised 40% of the Conference USA all-academic team.
100%. So we're brainiacs over here too.
That's right.
But as a rule, we want the golf scores and the school scores to be inversely proportional.
That's exactly right. Low golf scores, high academic scores.
Absolutely.
Exactly. JJ and Marcus were leaders all year. To have, you think about, okay, par is going to be 72 most of the time. That Marcus ended up sub 70 stroke average for the year. That's consistency.
That's very consistent.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not done a lot. Marcus is a tremendous player. And the thing that I like about Marcus is he's come in and he's gotten better every year. Next year with his European schedule, they've got a DPT World Championship that's going to be coming to Estonia. And it's a good thing for us that it phases out in another year, but he will start on the European Tour with 7 to 9 starts. So next year will be a very good developmental year. We expect him to continue to improve, to come in and just be ready to play professional golf. So I'm excited for him to return. I need him to step up in a leadership role, especially with a bunch of young guys, and I know he's excited for that challenge.
The international flavor, how is there, like in basketball, international players typically have a different style of play. Are international players, do they typically have different strengths than maybe American players?
Since I've been here, they've been a lot smarter.
Yeah.
But as a rule, the internationals, it normally takes a semester for them to adjust. They're not used to the climate. It's a little bit hotter here. The grass is different. The
Summers
school,
have to be a lot hotter here.
100%.
Yeah.
But it takes him a little while. But I'm excited that, Luke's finished it out. He needs to get a little bit better with his T-ball, and that needs to improve to get him where he wants to go. But there's a young freshman that I'm really, really excited about. His name's Ollie Baker. He landed with pneumonia that turned into COVID. We didn't get to play him for the first 2 events in the fall. And
where's he from?
From England.
Okay.
And I think he's going to be special. I really, really do. He's a very, very high golf IQ, probably the most experienced player that we have on our team with the exception of Marcus. And I'm just excited to get him healthy and get him going.
Yeah. You guys, along with the women's team and all of our programs, we talked with Lauren and Abbie a little bit about the upcoming Raiders' Choice Awards. And one of the things that is you all get out in the community and do things, whether it's in the golf community or the community in general. What is it? How important is that to you for the folks in town to see your kids out doing things, whether it's in local schools or wherever it may be, wearing that logo that's on your chest?
100%, it's invaluable.
Yeah.
Because these are the people that support us on a day in and day out, and when we need something, we go to them. So it's nice to be able to return the favor. But the biggest thing is we're proud. We're proud of this program. We're proud of everything that's been accomplished here. We want to continue to carry that torch. As you said, we've had big shoes to fill. Coach Moore, Coach Turnbow, Brennan Webb, they've all done a really nice job. They've elevated this program. So we need to continue to do that. We've got a very successful alumni organization. We need to get them back involved and continue to keep them involved. But this is an incredible spot.
Do you all feel a responsibility to help grow the game?
100%.
Yeah. I was talking to Whit on a radio interview, maybe 7-8 months ago, maybe a little longer than that. And this was prior to the Live event. Mm-hmm. And the atmosphere of a PGA event and a Live event could not be more different. But the one thing that's the common thread is you have people there who love the game of golf.
100%.
And whether it is a start shirt or cut off blue jeans, what needs to happen to continue the growth of the game with kids?
Well, I think the best thing that's happened for golf is COVID.
Really?
Lauren and I struggle with it every day. You can't get a tee time anywhere.
Yeah.
Because everybody's playing golf. But golf is such a unique game. It's such a game that you can play for life with people. It's used a ton in the business world. We've been successful fundraising there. And it's just one thing that you can do with people and do with them for the rest of your life. So a lot of the people that come to me and are asking for employees or people to help run their companies, they want them to play golf. So I think it just opens up so many avenues and so many doors that I don't think it's going to slow down for a while.
Okay, Lauren said that they're going to the Bahamas, going back to.
Yeah.
What about your schedule for fall and winter? I want to see who I need to schmooze the most to get on a trip.
Well,
here.
She's got more money in her budget right now,
okay.
Why don't you tag along with them in the front, and then on the back end, you can we'll bring you home. But no, it's going to be the same similar schedule that we play. We open up at Louisiana Tech's tournament down in Squire Creek. It's a possible regional bid and a possible conference change. So it's always fun to go down there. Our players like it. It's a good, relaxing start. From there, we're going to go to a Texas State event. They're going to do one down at the Raven in Florida. This will be a new event that we've never been to. We're going to go back and take a mulligan with Florida Gulf Coast down in Florida. And then we'll go to Little Rock in the Bahamas. And our spring schedule will be the same. We play a Power 5 schedule in the spring where we play UTSA's event, which is comprised of a lot of Big 12 teams. Then we play the Shinkle, which had Florida and Notre Dame. We played with them the last 2 rounds, which was fun for our players. Then we play Vanderbilt, and we play Mississippi State, and then we head into conference. So we're going to go pick on the big boys and see what we can get.
Will the conference tournament be back in Texarkana next year?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Texarkana is a special spot. It's really been a nice fit for our program. And we've had some success there, so I hope it stays there for a long time.
Have they supported that town supported it pretty well?
Absolutely.
That's good. That's cool. Well, I appreciate you coming by today
thank you.
and spending time and getting us an update on what's going on there. And want to wish you and all the guys all the best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach Mark McEntire joining us. Again, you can catch all of our episodes on the Blue Raider Athletics YouTube channel. And for Coach Mark McEntire, Abbie Lee, and for Lauren Wamsley, Chip Walters here saying thanks for being with us, and be loud, be proud, and be blue.